I'd like to call the February 12th meeting to order. Pastor David Short is here from Second Place Church. Could you please come forward, Pastor?
Right. Lord, we ask you, Father, for your divine guidance and wisdom, insight, as we make vital decisions for our village and those that we serve. We pray that our hearts would be humble before you and seeking, Father, the wisest choices. Lord, we pray for safety as people are driving, either coming here or on the roads tonight. And we pray for your protection over all of us, even as we leave from his place, Lord. And we ask it in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Could you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just got you to stumble. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez? Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Razik?
Present.
Trustee Wilson?
Present.
Trustee Udris?
Here.
Okay, at this time, I open to the public, agenda items only. If you have anything you'd like to question on the agenda, please step forward. And I might say that I've said before, we're busy. I don't think I've had an agenda this thick for a while. There's a lot of items on it, so we're a very busy village. Okay, so we'll move on to the consent agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn? Yes. Trustee Razik?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Okay, with that, we'll move to the clerk's report. Denisha?
Thank you, Mayor Pop. Just wanted to remind everyone with the upcoming election, if you are not registered to vote and would love to do so, we have it available for you here. Come to the Village Hall and we'll be able to register you. Also, we will have, once again, early voting available here for the Village of Monee only. Well, I should say Monee residents. So even if it's township, we will take it, but for Monee residents only. And that will be Monday, March 9th, from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tuesday, the 10th, from 9:30 to 4:30. Wednesday, from 9:30 to 4:30. Thursday will be from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Friday, the 13th, will be from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And then Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 11. End of report.
Thank you, Denisha. I just wanted to mention, if you drive down Will Center and look west past Court Street, just drive down about a block and a half or two, you'll see the water tower going up, our new water tower. It's starting to get some height to it. So they're moving right along with that project. At this time, I'd like to call up the representative from the Girl Scouts. If you'd like to come forward and let the girls come up with you. All right. Very formal, I like that. Get next to a microphone, young lady, okay?
I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the residents of Monee for all their support and kindness. Last year, I wanted to surprise a friend with chronic health problems with a trip to Disney World. I was amazed with how much support I was amazed by how much support I received from our community. But this year, I have an enormous goal to help a special family who has lost a lot and give them a chance to have quality time together in Disney World. I was teaming up with my friend, and together we are going to sell 10,000 boxes of cookies and 10,000 boxes of cookies. I want to thank everyone in Monee who have supported me. Together we can make magical wishes come true. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can you give us your name?
Ann Nelson,
And where do you live, Ann?
um,
What subdivision do you live in?
Country Meadows,
Country Meadows.
Very good.
So, and tell us how old you are this year.
12.
And has there ever been any other Girl Scout who has donated their trip after selling all of those boxes of cookies?
No.
Nationwide. She's the only one.
Oh, my, let's do that again.
So I assume you have some boxes of cookies with you tonight, too?
Yeah.
All right. So, and Mom, too, are you guys planning on being stationed out anywhere anytime soon? So if there's residents that want to come buy some cookies from Ann? Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Ann?
I just wanted to mention, as long as you have the cookies with you, before we go into executive session, if you stick around, the trustees, I'm putting them on the spot, if they want to get some cookies, they may do that.
No.
So, stick around, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to, the administrator's report. David?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Board. Have a couple of items on the agenda this evening. Item H1 is the Village of Monee intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. Previously, if you recall, the board was notified of the village receiving a grant from CMAP for a comprehensive plan. Attached for your review is the intergovernmental agreement formalizing this grant. The contract with Ginkgo Planning and Design, the vendor for CMAP, is for an amount in excess of $100,000. However, the local contribution amount due from the village is $18,000. So the action requested this evening would be a motion to authorize the mayor and the clerk to execute the intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning in the amount of $18,000.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Any discussion on that? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razik?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item H2 on the agenda has to do with the Cleveland-Hamilton realignment project. Robinson Engineering has written a proposal to provide right-of-way services. And through this proposal, as part of the ongoing project to align Cleveland-Hamilton Avenues at Monee and Manhattan Road, the following proposal from Robinson Engineering for right-of-way services is the next step in the project. Right-of-way services is required under an IDOT project when right-of-way is required, and it is in this case. The proposal contains a scope of services where Robinson Engineering will perform items A and B under the scope of services that was included in the packet, and a scope of services, and then Matheson Right-of-Way Company will perform item C. The total amount for the entire scope of services in this contract is $102,000. I would like to note that all engineering services, with the exception of right-of-way services, is reimbursable from the state under the IDOT project. And up to this point, the village has been reimbursed for the engineering services that has been incurred to date. So the action requested this evening would be a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the professional right-of-way services, engineering services contract with Robinson Engineering in the amount of $102,000.
Could I have a motion on that, please?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
A second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Razik?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Thank you very much. Next item, H3, is professional service proposal for the Department of Public Works Industrial Drive facility. Over some time here, the Superintendent Krizel has obtained 3 proposals for professional services for the Public Works facility located on Industrial Drive. The intent of the proposals are to provide professional services for the completion of the Public Works facility. The proposals that were included, you can see vary quite widely in range there. And the goal here, I'm going to vary off my script here, the goal is basically to head up this project so that it has a definite start and a definite completion date, that it is handled by a professional architect, construction manager, and the professional trades that will get this accomplished. Our approach up to this point has been a necessary one, as we have maneuvered our way through budgets over the past several years. And certain things have been done. New roof has been installed, doors have been modified along the way, but it's a slow and arduous task. At this point, we really don't know what it's going to take to finish the project out, and therefore, it doesn't have an end date in sight. And so to better serve this, the purpose of that facility, and to better bring factual information to the board, Superintendent Krizel went out and obtained 3 proposals, one of which was from a company that we had already been engaged with, and had worked with us on the roofing part of it. Second company was a company that had provided other architectural services and contractual services to us, more on the inspection side of things. And then third would be the JMA Architects, and they were a firm that has worked with our engineering firm in the past, that has provided some feedback on other municipal projects that they've worked on. And if you take a look at the very last page, that's what I'm going to reference in your packet, and that's going to be the spreadsheet, the small spreadsheet that was placed out there. And I would like to say that the 3 firms that are being considered are Linden Group, Oliveri Architects, and JMA Architects. And Linden Group is the group that we have worked with in the past. And if you recall the bid process that came in, we had a little hiccup on that. But to date, we have spent with them $51,372. Their description of what is to be completed here is an additional $30,000, and falls a little bit short of some of the requirements that Superintendent Krizel included in his proposal. Next, we have worked with Oliveri. They gave us some heading on the Village Hall remodel here. And however, you can see that there is a point that under construction administration and oversight, they don't provide that type of service. And their proposal came in at $74,380. And then JMA Architects are the last that made a proposal to us, and virtually handled the scope that was put before them from A to Z. And they provide all the services that we asked for in there, including the construction administration and oversight, the new design drawings, which were included in other scopes of work, and their price came in at $98,000. I would like to reiterate, this is a professional services contract, and that many times under professional services, we tend to evaluate the value of the contract as opposed to the raw numbers that come before us. So staff is, after evaluating all of these, staff has made the recommendation to ask the board to waive any bidding requirements needed for the professional services, and a second motion to authorize the mayor to execute the professional services contract with JMA Architects for the $98,000. I know that is the higher of all three, but in staff's point of view, it is the best value that is out there and provides the most complete product of services. Happy to take any
Okay,
questions.
no questions yet, I don't think, but
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
we have to have two different things. So what's our first motion, Dave? What's it going to cover? So the trustees
Motion to waive the
realize?
bidding.
I'm just reminding, okay? Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Okay, now discussion.
So I just want a little clarification. I'm in agreement that JMA is the right way to go, but in fact, it isn't apples to apples, isn't it? Because even though Olivieri is lower, they don't include all of the services that JMA do in terms of that construction. So even though it's less, they give you less for it. It's not like they're giving you the same thing.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask one question too? About Linden Group, you said something about a hiccup, and we are into that already scope of services for $51,000, and what they would require to finish this is $30,750. So we've already paid them, or we have a project already with them that's not complete. So we're already into this project for $51,000.
That is correct.
So on top of the 51, we're going to have to hire someone else to complete the project fully.
That is correct.
So even though if it's 98, actually it'll be 149.
Yes, I do not disagree with that.
So there's no way. So if we finish the job with Linden, we would still require extra work because what they can't complete, JMA can?
I'm suggesting that the work that we have previously done with Linden Group was not of a level of satisfaction for us. The project did get done, that was the roof, but it required significant municipal involvement to get that done. And as a result of part of that process, it did bring a complaint to this level at the village board level for that. And it just, in our best interest of the municipality and moving the project along, don't feel that they're capable of performing at the level that we need or would like to have it performed at. Part of the big problem is that myself or Superintendent Crizel cannot be daily oversight on that project.
Truly, yeah, that's
You know,
not what you're here for.
we're not confident that
But,
that bidder would.
well, then what'll trouble me is this is already Linden, this project. We had already voted as a board to approve them for this project as well, correct?
Only parts, not for the entire project. Because, if you recall, we were kind of, we had to do it in parts and pieces because of budgetary constraints. So that's how it was done, in parts and pieces. It was never presented in a start-to-finish format, to my knowledge.
So it's not something that we had, at this level, you come to us and require approval then?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for alleviating my guilt.
I'm sorry.
So, question for you, Mr. Wallace. Under JMA Architects, Construction Admin Oversight, 11-2, does that mean they are there every day during the period of construction to act as the general?
It means that they are not the general. Part of the construction price, construction cost, which is not here, is a general contractor. JMA has oversight over that and over the general and how it all dovetails in with the architectural drawings that they are going to provide for construction purposes.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? I know it's quite a bit of money, but I might say the experience I had on a school board and I'm talking way too many years ago. I was in my 20s, and we had a firm do a job for us at the school, at Oklahoma Community High School. And the company that was in charge of the project, now I'm talking over 50 years ago, hit us with a $45,000 extra. They didn't even put in gas piping for the physics labs. That was one of the many things, and we discussed it at length and settled to pay the architect an additional $15,000. But my point is that I'm trying to make here is that, you know, it may look like we're spending a lot more money, but I think in the long run, from what the two Davids have said, and our experience with the other bidder, I'm absolutely for JMA, so I don't know if anyone else has any other comments, but I thought I'd share that with you, what can happen. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I would like
Yes.
to add one thing, and that is, the whole scope of this is to bring a bid price to the board, so that we all have an understanding of what that a building is going to cost to get it finished as a whole. That's the other decision that'll have to be made. But right now, we have no idea what it's going to cost. This is the way to bring it to fruition. And there is written in here that, let's say the board decides at the future not to move forward with the construction part of that, there is written in here provisions for opting out, for not doing all of the scope of works, you know, that we can agree to that in writing. So we've tried to protect things all the way around, but we really need to get a price to understand what is it really going to take to get that building completed so that Public Works can move in. This is the avenue to do that.
Any other comments, discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razik?
Yes.
Then that was the motion to waive the bidding process, and we need a second motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion on that motion?
So which is this motion on now?
The first one was waiving the bid, and the second one is actually to approve.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We have a motion and a second. Any
Yes.
discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razik?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one other comment I'd like to make for the board's edification. Finance Director Bulliner and myself has had a conference call last week with our insurance group, the head of our insurance group, Swarm, which we're a member of. And as it all boils down, as it pertains to property casualty insurance, we're probably looking in the neighborhood of an 8 to 10% increase overall. I found it very, during discussion, very amazing that the insurance market having to do with property casualty it almost acts like the stock market. It's up one day, it's down another. And it makes it very difficult for groups such as Swarm and other groups to really lock in a good insurance rate because it can change basically daily. So this is new territory where at least our group has never seen such a volatile market out there. So we're hoping that 8 to 10% increase actually holds, and we can get signed on dotted line with that. But just information as we move forward, trying to secure our property casualty insurance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. We'll move on to officials' report. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as our mayor cited, that Tower 3 construction and the well house is progressing nicely, and the lower bulb section on the water tower has been raised and is currently being welded into place. Well house construction is still on schedule with interior electrical and ventilation installations progressing inside. And as you can see, or as you came in here, it was snowing, so please drive safe and be aware of ice and snow on the way. And of course, our public works are out there as we speak, plowing. And also reminder that there is no parking on village roadways after 2 inches of snowfall. And I'm sure we're going to hit that tonight. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Douglas. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation. Trustee Wilson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Well, 2020 is going to be a monumental year here in Monee, so
It is.
strap on your seatbelt and hang on. Enjoy the ride. For the Village of Monee, we encourage everyone to come out to be a part of our meeting. That we're going to be the Help Monee Parks and Recreation Future at the Community Input Meeting. So this is community input is sought for a comprehensive Parks and Recreation Master Plan in the development stages by the Village of Monee. A public meeting is scheduled for this for February 25th, 2020 at the Village Hall here, 5130 West Court Street at 6:30 p.m. This will allow interested residents to share their ideas and desires for the village's parks and recreational programs that they would like to see in the future. So also, when developed, the master plan will provide insight and direction on how the Village of Monee proceeds on future projects and programs to enhance the quality of Monee. So just as a sample of last year where we had Poochapalooza, the Fest, and all of Love Monee. So just what works and what doesn't work, what would you like to see? What are other communities doing that you would like to see us part of also? So we would like that input. Please feel free to give Diana Kroll a call, 708-534-8302, or email at dkroll@villageofmonee.org. Starting March 3rd, 2020, Village of Monee's before and after school care program for Monee Elementary School will begin. This is starting March 3rd, next month, the before and after care programs. Looking forward to this. I know a lot of parents I've been hearing some good feedback from it. A lot of parents are interested in what's going on because of restraints with childcare. So this is going to be a nice alternative that's going to be provided by the village at the school. Grades K through 5, 2019-2020 school year. The Village of Monee's program is designed to provide a safe before and after school program for children attending Monee Elementary School in grades kindergarten through 5th. The program is staffed with trained employees and maintains a 10-to-1 ratio. The program hours are 7 a.m. until school begins and after school until 6:30 p.m. We accommodate full-time, part-time, and flexible schedules. Each participant is required to pay a registration fee of $30. So looking forward to that program. Have any questions, feel free to contact myself, Diana Kroll, or the village. End of report, Mayor.
Are you sure of that? I mean, that
I'm
was
positive.
short and sweet, you know?
I know.
Good job. We'll move on to Finance. Trustee Blue.
Thank you, Mayor. I know budget meetings have already started throughout the village administration here, and that's exciting. We do have our Finance Committee meet on the first Monday of March, the 2nd of March, at 6 p.m. here at the Village Hall. It is a Finance Committee. It is a public meeting. I welcome anybody and everybody from the community to come. We want your input. We need your input. Nothing should ever be a surprise because we do talk about everything, so come and be involved. And of course, our trustees, it's a very well-supported committee, so I'm sure more than the committee would turn out, and I certainly encourage us all to be there. That's Monday, March the 2nd. The Beautification Committee, we do have our Earth Day coming up on Saturday the 25th. Look out for more details on that. It's our second annual Earth Day. We're really excited. We loved it last year despite the weather, so we want to encourage everyone to come out. It's a wonderful community service event. It's about taking care of our village and our homes. Speaking of our homes, we're very excited to be launching our Curb Appeal Award. This was birthed from an idea from our mayor. He wanted to award a home, send out an award for a home that really made the owners or the people renting it really made an effort with the yard, and so we put together a program, and we're very happy to announce that Village Realty are going to sponsor that event. So we met with them. The Beautification Committee met with them today. More details will come out from that, but it will run from the 1st of April to around the 15th of June, and then after that, judging will take place and prizes will be awarded. So watch this space. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you, Janet. I believe don't we also have a nursery business helping sponsor that?
We haven't. We've reached out to them, but we haven't got anything
I thought
confirmed.
that was
No
the-
commitment yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
From what I heard tonight, I thought they were on board.
Yeah.
Sorry
thanks.
about that.
No problems.
Okay, we'll move on to economic development. Trustee Raisik.
I actually have one thing tonight, Mr. Mayor. This Friday, the Village of Monee is the host community for the Chicago Southland Economic Development Corporation's Quarterly Forum. Over 200 business, government, and institutional leaders of the greater Chicago Southland region have registered to attend the program at Bolt Field. In addition to a representation by the village, attendees will hear updates on the South Suburban Airport, as well as a presentation from the brokerage team for Bailey Ridge 4. This is a great opportunity to showcase both the village's development achievements to date, as well as its continuing opportunities. End of report.
Thank you, Anthony. We'll move on to building services. Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, Amazon is in the process of working on installing and upgrading a break room at their facility. That's one of the projects we have going. Northern Builders just completed their 25,000 square foot addition for the Monee Venture on Ridgeland Avenue with additional equipment to be added soon for their new tenant, Bosco Corporation. And as everybody's talking about, the new well house is progressing and going up. People can drive by and take a look at that. For the month of January, Building Services issued 17 building reports. The permit value for the month of January was $484,749. I also have 11 homes that went on the market and scheduled for resale inspections. And lastly, just a reminder to residents and business owners to make use of the village's website, villageofmonee.org. Quick links for everything that you need with what's happening within the village. Normally, I'd have a report from the Chamber of Commerce, although weather kept me from attending, so I don't know if Trustee Blue or Trustee Horn were there with anything to report from the Chamber. Otherwise, I have end of report.
There was nothing unusual. It was a regular meeting. Yeah. We had you back then.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, we'll move on to public safety. Trustee Gonzalez.
No report.
Thank you for your report. Okay, we'll move on to the attorney's report. Larry?
Thank you, Your Honor. I got 3 items for the board's consideration. The first item is a settlement agreement with Kersey Builders. This is in respect to Eagle Fair subdivision. If the board recalls, we were obligated to deed some property over to Mr. Seamus, and we reached an agreement where we would pay him $20,000 in lieu of that deed. There were some outstanding citations that, if the board deems appropriate, we would waive, but we found out the cost to subdivide that property and put in infrastructure was significantly higher. So we did reach a tentative settlement idea with Griffin and Gallagher, which represents Seamus. It's up for the board's review and consideration. He has signed off on it. That way, we do have 2 deeds that if we sign off on this, I will then, we will not record, and then we're in agreement We're in compliance with the annexation agreement that we signed, I think, October of 2017.
So you're looking for a motion?
Yeah, I'm sorry, need a motion if the board deems authorizing the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the village of Monee.
Could I have a motion on that, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razick?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Number, no, you should,
No, just.
No.
no number on that?
Thank you, Your Honor. The next item is an amendment to the redevelopment agreement with VPP. If the board recalls, we signed a redevelopment agreement with this company or this organization a couple of years ago. We agreed to reimburse them $350,000, subject to submission of TIF-eligible costs, which individual has done. He has not completed everything. He's 99% done, 99.9, close. He's requesting a payout. But in order to do that, I think we need to amend the redevelopment agreement indicating that we acknowledge there is an obligation that we owe him of $350,000. We recommended a payout of $325,000. Again, the only thing he has to do yet is asphalt the parking lot, a few minor repairs, but given the fact, you know, the weather won't break until spring, God willing, then he'll complete it. But everything else has been done pursuant to the village code. So if the board deems appropriate, need a motion authorizing the mayor to sign the amendment on behalf of the village of Monee.
I'll make that motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
So just to clarify, though, because
Sure.
this, you know, our, this amendment does state the full amount. Do we need, you know, so we will sign this with the amended cost of $325,000.
We'll sign it indicating that we're going to pay him the $325,000 tonight, and the remaining $25,000 will be paid once he completes the
Project.
the asphalt.
And so, and he's in full
Yes.
agreement?
I believe, yes. I don't think he signed it, but he did submit a letter to Mr. Wallace. He needs this in order to, for financing purposes.
Okay.
We do have signed agreement.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
I take that back. We do have a signed agreement.
Strike that.
Or I say strike that.
Strike
okay?
that, right.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razick?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then the last item in connection with number 2, approval to payout of $325,000 for VPP, the Monee Liquor Depot. This is in accordance with number 2. So we need a motion to authorize payout.
Can I have a motion on that, please?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Razick?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Larry. We'll move on to old business. Is there any old business anyone needs to bring up? Any new business?
I just wanted to bring up to everybody, too, that I know that Diana's talked about it kind of ad nauseum, but I visited myself this week. Did you know every Tuesday afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30, the Will County Employment Services truck is right outside in the parking lot for people looking for a job? I myself went into the bus this week, and there's stations of computers, there's job boards listed for Will County jobs, and even a printer in there if you needed to print and do your resumes too. So if you have anybody that's out looking for a job, needing a job, wanting a job, or changing jobs, please use this resource there. We're very lucky to have it every week in our village. 1 to 3.
That's great you mentioned that, Heidi. I mean it, and we got to do that every once in a while, because they see the van there.
And they might not know what it is, so.
Exactly, so let's remember to mention it once in a while. That's great.
And he asked me to mention it, so I did.
Okay, now we're at open to the public, non-agenda items. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Anybody have anything they'd like to talk about, bring up? Please step forward.
Buy your Girl Scout cookies.
Well, with that in mind, I'm going to make a motion that we go into executive session, but we'll pause a moment for we know what, cookies. So could I have a motion that we,
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
oh, I'm sorry for the lawyers catching me here. I was more interested in the cookies than anything. Executive session will be a 5-1 LCS 120/2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee of the public body. Number 2, 5-1 LCS 120/2C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. So those are the 2 reasons. Thank you, Larry.
We need a motion.
Did we get a roll call? Did we have a motion on that?
Yes, we have first and second. Want me to do roll call?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Racick?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Okay, we're going to go into executive session, but I need to see the young lady over there. I don't know who else wants to see you, but.
I just wondered, is there a reason they're doing such a big architectural?